Where are we in the syllabus? It is something that you need to ask from you very often, very frequently. Where are we? The syllabus of a subject is like a journey. Officially, it has a beginning and it must have an end. We have already begun the journey, and we are just compared to the parts that we have to do. What we have covered is a very little area. But small doesn't mean it's negligible or it's not important, because you have been capturing the fundamentals, without which you will not be able to continue the journey ahead. This is the first competency that we have been doing, chapter 1. And we have covered some important sections in that. And at the moment, our current section also is quite important. It is because we have a subject, a standard science called economics, because of a unique problem that we all face. We call it scarcity of resources. When we examine our human nature, it is believed that every human being wants to have more than what is available. When we go to the extreme, we call it the greed. But in economics, we call it the wants. Our human wants exceed the volume and the availability of resources. At the moment, we have been talking about resources under the title of factors of production. Production is a simple concept, although the practice is very hard. We all know production means conversion of various inputs into desired outputs. Production requires resources. This is why in economics we call those resources factors of production. According to economists, not only they recognize these factors of production are scarce, they also recognize 4 important categories of the factors of production that they name: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. These are the 4 classes or 4 categories of resources under which all these specific resources we see, specific resources we have, and the specific resources we use are categorized. For an example, your tati or ammi works as an employee in a particular company. Then, according to an economist, your father and mother has a resource, and economists call it labor. your father's or mother's physical or mental ability to contribute into the production or delivering process of a good or a service. The purpose of your education also is to create productive labor. We call them different names, right? Talents, skills, attitude, capabilities, performance. By all these names, we mean our ability to contribute. That is the meaning. So likewise, every resource that you come across, that you recognize as a resource, can be categorized under one of these 4 resource categories. And last week, we finished our discussion on land. Land means, don't forget, all natural resources. We all know what nature is. Nature is something, we know lots of mysteries are there. Also, science has captured some essence or substance of the ideas that they can say something about the nature. Nature is something that always mysterious. It is believed, according to natural sciences, the nature has got ecosystems. So nature maintains its flow of supply of the natural resources, and human beings can enjoy them, human beings can use them, and human beings should not destroy them. And that is exactly, unfortunately, our human beings have been doing. And land means all natural resources. We can actually consider a wide range of natural resources. It's not only the physical land we see, even the climatic and weather conditions, rainwater, wind, solar power, sunlight, the natural heat, wild animals, forests, plants, ocean, and other aquatic resources, they all fall under the category of land. Today, we're opening our session with a fresh topic, and that is capital. Wait. Before you embark on a particular mission, you need to check where you are standing at the moment. Okay, when I say capital, when you hear someone uses the word capital, there is something that naturally pops up into your mind. You don't know whether it is right or wrong, but it quickly emerges in your mind, giving or creating a meaning for the term you heard, capital. I would like to ask, forget that this is an economics class. When you generally hear the term capital, what comes to your mind? Don't try giving me economic arguments, because I know very well it is not the thing that comes to your mind according to what you have studied so far in O levels. In O levels, you have used the word capital. Okay, in O levels, you have used the word capital. And I know when you study languages, you use the word capital. For an example, capital A. And every country has a capital city. So whatever it is, I just want you to find your individual idea. When you hear the word capital, what is the meaning that your mind gives it? Can you please use this chat facility and Give me the feedback. I mean the natural meaning, okay? Don't give me, don't send me direct messages. You share your idea with others, and when you respond, don't read before you respond. Don't read others' ideas. You just give your natural opinion, and after you respond, you read the list. Okay, right? Good, very good. I can see the list now. Equity, money invested by the owner for his own business in capital, owner's equity. Okay, human-made resources, money, capital letters, money introduced by an owner of a business. The main thing, yeah, that is capital, according to Patumya. Money invested by the owner for a business, man-made, capital cities of various countries, all man-made resources, money, equity in accounting, capital of a country, the resources which are owned by the owner. Capital is anything produced by man, human-made things, man-made resources, money, money introduced by owner in a business, money, human involvement, money, natural resources being used, man-made things, assets equals capital plus liability. I know where Zainab Farah got that equation, right? She must have thought about accounting here. Yes, that is what I asked you to forget about that. This is an economics class. I just wanted you to be aware of your mind. What your mind naturally tells you. This is exactly that, right? And I ask you to not to manipulate it. Human created assets, man-made things, man-made resources invested by owner, important or prominence, owner invested in business, money. Good. I ask it because before I'm here, I was somewhere. Now I am your sir. So my students and their parents believe that, okay, he must be an educated man. He knows what he talks about. He has experience. Okay, there was an era, right, where each and every master was an amateur. So every time when I take an approach to a topic in teaching, I always think of my past, where I used to think of the things what my teachers taught me. My mind did not permit me to take the definition for capital given to me by my economics teacher, because in my mind there was an already a concept which was given to me when I was in O levels. I was there in O levels before I entered the A levels class, and there I had a subject called like accounting. Then I believed capital means there is a business, there is an owner or owners, what they have invested in their business is called capital. So that is. But my economics teacher, my economics sir, in fact, had to wash my brain. So today I'm going to do the same thing. If money is the thing that pops up, if whatever that have been invested by the owners in their business, if that is the idea that comes, that emerges in your mind as the meaning of capital, I'm going to say, according to economics and economic interpretations, what you think and how you interpret the meaning of capital is wrong. But it is not wrong in accounting. economics, there won't be capital without human involvement. And you shared, most of you had typed the word money. Before it's too late, I'm going to tell you, if you think money is capital or capital is money, that is completely wrong in economics. And I'm going to say, look at me, listen. In economics, money is not only, it's not capital, it's not a resource at all. Don't list. There are many things that you can consider as resources. There are many things that you can write as examples for resources. But don't forget, you can't write money. Money is not a resource. From the general list, we eliminate money. So money can't be a natural resource. Money can't be an example of land. Money is not an example for labor or entrepreneurship, and money is definitely not an example for capital. So you would ask, what is money? Money is a medium of exchange. When I want to sell this, I sell it and I get money. And then I have money and I can dispose it, spend it, and can have this instant. So money facilitates exchange. Money directly facilitates exchange, not production. So money is not a factor of production. So eliminate money from the scene now. This is why I asked this question. This was not about capital. I knew your answer, majority's answer would be money. So kids, please answer my question. Will you ever write money as an example for any of the resources here? Will you write in economics? Will you write? So great. Answer should be no, never. Very good. This is why I asked that question, and thank you very much for your honest responses. Because of your honesty, because you knew, I know most of you knew. I mentioned this in last week, but I asked you to listen to your natural noise and respond with that. And yes, money is not a resource. Then you may have another thing. So money, isn't it man-made? Yeah, it is man-made, but it is not capital. Money can't directly facilitate production, but money is designed to directly facilitate exchange. Okay, good. Now you are in the right turn to begin the today's work. Great. And I saw some students have not changed the names of the devices. I give you 5 seconds to do it. Please make sure you have 2 names. I will have to call your name otherwise. I would like to call your name for something good, right? Because we have to praise people in public, but now I have to criticize you in public if you do not respond to this. Please rename your device. Good. We'll start. In fact, we have already started. This is where you should be in the tune. Page number 37. Man-made resources, capital. Right? Page number 37. Right. Capital. Capital in economics. Don't forget, capital has been successfully defined in other disciplines like accounting. But here we learn and interpret capital in the ways of economics. So this is how we define capital as a resource in economics. Capital includes all manufactured aid, which means man-made production aid that are used in producing consumer goods and services. So capital are all man-made resources, all man-made resources. My dear kids, can you please give, one student has mentioned that she can't see my screen. Can you see the screen of mine, Puta? Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. So basically, okay, Puta, thank you. Capital is that man, which means human involvement has to be there. In other words, capital is a resource that has to be produced first. Then only you can use that to produce other goods and services. Think of a machine. Why it's capital? Somebody had to plan it, design it, create it, produce it. So you have that machine as a result of that human involvement. And now, do you directly consume this machine? Can you eat the machine? Can you sleep with the machine? No. This machine has been designed to produce some other goods and services. There are many machines producing different things. So machine is a perfect example for capital. Think of a factory. What about your school buildings? What about the ports, airports? What about the military bases? What about hospitals? So they all come under the definition of capital. Why? They have been made by human beings. That's number one. Number two, once the making is done, they can be used to produce other goods and services. So that is how we define capital in economics. The students who joined the class today, please send me direct messages now quickly. My dear kids, did you understand this meaning of capital? It's something I know in contradiction of what you thought capital was. Did you understand? The new ones. Alut lamaita danna kiwama parna lamai danne paane. Alut babala. Dagina, you know, I think. Huh? Right. Okay. Right. So it's not that I ignored the former ones, right? Because I wanted the newcomers, right? It's first 30 minutes. So in their first kind of encounter with me, right? So I need to know whether they understood what I initially offered them. Okay, now wait. Right. Please write this down quickly. I type it. I will explain it again as I proceed, right? Okay. meaning of capital as a factor of production. Okay, write down capital in economics includes all man-made, this is one thing, man-made productive resources, all man-made productive resources that can be used to produce other goods and services. So if you want to highlight something here, and that should be Putha, man-made, then productive resource. Man-made productive resource. Which means you have to produce it first. Then only you can use it to produce other goods and services. For an example, if the government wants to develop Sri Lankan cricket, they may have to consider, having some international level cricket grounds and practice nets. So they would be capital. If government wants to promote international trade and international investment, we have to have some ports and airports. If government wants to improve the efficiency of the domestic economy, there should be capital installations in transport like highways and telecommunication, for an example, towers. And if government wants to develop the attitudes and capabilities of human beings, schools, hospitals, professional education, they all come under this general and wide definition of capital. Okay, good. Sihas, can you understand now, darling? Sihas? Okay, good. So I'm going to explain some other attributes of this definition of capital. You're welcome. Okay. Capital in economics. First, capital means resources made by human beings. So they are resources and they are not naturally given, and they are not human beings. They are not natural and they are not human either. They are the resources made by human beings. Next, they must be produced before it to be used. Yes, I told you it several times. Third, the process of making capital is a lengthy process. You can't think of producing capital today and you can't have it tomorrow. No, no, no. Production process of capital, we call it investment. You have heard of it, right? This is why investment is so important. I know what you think of. You think as investing money. That is again wrong in econ. Yes, you begin with investing money. Do you know what happened? Tell me. Okay, Putha, suppose you go to Colombo Stock Exchange and you invest some some amount of money, let's say 1 million. Suppose you are a millionaire, and one of the millions that you have, you decided to invest in the Colombo Stock Exchange. Yes, it is called a financial investment. Tell me now what happens. Do you know what happens to your money? Tell me. What happens? Suppose you purchased the shares of 5 different companies. One is a bank. The other is a hotel. Next one is a manufacturing company. Next one, IT development. And next one is a higher education, a private university. So you have purchased some shares. Okay, now wait. You bought the shares, so which means you have some partial ownership of these 5 companies. So now, who has your money? Who has your money? Tell me. Do you have your money now? Who has your money? Shares? Shares? You have shares. I'm asking, who have your money? Oh, those companies. Good. The bank, the hotel, that software development company, or whatever, wherever you have. Now tell me, what do they do? What do these companies do with that money? They play, they eat, or they sleep? Tell me, what do they do? That is it. Now, bank would use your money to train their employees. Hotel may open up another hotel somewhere in Negombo. Software development company expand its capacity. Likewise, now you understand, your money turns into something real. Do you understand now? Investing money in stock market is just the beginning. Now, as money passes on hands, you can see now money is converted into something real. This is why we say money is not the capital. What money turns into is capital. Did you understand, my kids? Very good. Very good. You know, in learning economics, you need to understand first what you see and what you can't see, or what you don't see. You have to take few steps forward or sometimes backward to get the real meaning of the idea. And I'm happy you do it very conveniently at the moment, in a very smarter way. So this is why, although an accountant calls what you have invested in the stock market an investment, economists say it's only financial investment. It has to turn into something real, another factory, another machine, another branch of the bank, another computer system, 5 more towers, another highway, port expansion, or change in the productivity and abilities of the workforce. Now it's capital. Now it's capital. I think you gain that insight. Now this is a that is why I kept a special day to cover this, because this is where most of the students make mistakes. In fact, this is the first mistake that most of the time students make. They think and they believe, not only they think and believe, they start writing it in the exam that money is capital. Will you ever do that? Will you ever write money as an example for capital? මම දීපු ප්‍රශ්නයකට දීලා බලපියකෝ දෙන්නේ කනට. Never. Never. Okay, good. Good. Tisha asks, what is money actually? Okay, honey, I'll tell you. Isha kya? Honey, you don't know what money is. Hiyo. Good. Right. Great. Next, capital is produced by humans using other resources. Wait. Don't forget some subtle meanings that I'm making. I told you capital is a resource. And I told you it's made by humans. And capital will help human beings to produce other goods and services. I would like to ask this question from you. Capital is made out of what? Capital is made by human beings. I'm asking, capital is made out of what? Can you give your answers, please? Your shape pe kahin na tu. Capital is made out of what? Yeah. As you can see here, it's human effort. I told you, capital is produced by humans, yes, using other resources. What do you mean by other resources? Yes, land is there, labor is there, even capital itself is there. And entrepreneurship. Listen, when Bill Gates decided to develop softwares some 30-40 years ago, you know that Bill Gates, we call personal computers softwares for them. For some, for you, for an example, your computer may be a consumer good, but my computer is not a consumer good because I'm making products through my computers. The same product can be a consumer good for one person and be a capital good for another person. So Bill Gates is an entrepreneur who decided to produce a product which could either be a consumer good and also a capital good. Okay. Smartphone also is like that. Smartphone is like that. Smartphone used by a mother to do family affairs may be a consumer good, but a smartphone used by a businessman is definitely a capital equipment up to a certain extent. So this is why capital is produced by human beings and capital is produced out of other resources. Natural resources are there. Definitely labor is there. Now we know machines producing other machines. Huh? Haven't you seen that robotics technology is used to produce cars? Huh? Haven't we seen that one machine? Huh? Yeah, I mean, obviously, robotics technology is used to produce cars. Haven't you heard of robots? Show me. Huh? Yeah. And for an example, how Henry Ford manufactured cars. He had a conveyor belt. So that conveyor belt means it's like the belt. So the car moves like this. When it comes to a particular, it has to stop. Then the workers in both sides of the belt, they have their improvement. And now it goes to the next stage. And some others have other developments. So likewise, at the end of the conveyor belt, you get the finished product called car. That is it. Okay, good. I'm not asking whether you understood or not, because when I ask it, very often it may bother you and affect adversely to the flow of your concentration. But I believe you understood, and I also believe if you did not, you would definitely question me. Okay, right. Okay. How capital is made by human beings. How capital is made by human beings. You need to know the story. First, here, my dear kids, the note that I'm going to give you now. You can see you have this topic, Puta. How does man make capital? For each of the sentences, you can see there is a kind of at least one blank in each of these sentences. Please make sure you fill that blank or blanks by referring to the note I'm providing on the slide. Okay, great. First point. The process through which capital is made by human beings is called the process of investment. This is why investment is very important for a nation, because without investment, that nation will not have adequate amount of capital for further production of other needed products, because investment is the production process of capital. You cannot double up your production without machines. So machines must be produced first. You can't carry out your production activity without a factory. So factory must be established first. You will not be able to distribute or deliver your products throughout the world or all the market regions you want to cover. For that, you have distribution links, vehicles, and roads, ports, airports, when you think of international trade. All these are possible only when investment is possible. Okay. You can't just use the word investment. There is another condition that should exist. That is, capital formation begins when people spend less than they earn. Wait, what about your family? Do you think your family spends less than it earns? Tell me. Is your family spends more or less than your family earns? What is your estimation? Tell me. More or less? It depends. It depends. Family to family, it depends. I know. I'm asking what you think. Yes. If you say, my dear, less, which means this is very important, because I don't have to think, I don't have to use some other examples where I can find examples in your life, right? Why should I take other examples? When you spend less than you earn, you make savings. You make savings. And through that, savings are made using money. I know that. You save rupees, no? Yes. And it's money. And these savings will serve you in two ways. First, you decide to invest it so that you get a thing called interest income. Or sometimes you save today so that you can consume in the future. Don't you have these two intentions when you save money, Putta? I save because I want to invest what I save. So with what I save, I can get interest. Okay. Then I save because I know what I save today, I can consume in the future. I'm asking, don't you have these two intentions at the back of your mind when you save? Yes. Yes. And I saw some students had typed according to their experiences. They said, no, sir, we spent not less, but more than we earn. Even our government is like that. Our government spends more than it earns. So what do you think if a certain family or a business or an individual or a government or a nation spends more than it earns, what do you think that outcome will be? Tell me. Tell me. You're spending more than you earn. You have to borrow. You have to borrow from others and become a debtor. And you will have accumulation of liabilities. This is where our country is in this at the moment. We want to develop, but individuals, families, businesses, the government, and the nation as a whole have the habit of spending more than they earn. As a result, we do not save, or at least we don't save enough. Since we save less, we invest less. This is why we want foreign investors to come here. Because we consume, we don't save much. We want foreigners who save or have saved enough so that they can bring their funds and invest here. And as a result, we can have real assets here like expressways, port city, schools, bridges, airports, entertainment centers, grounds. So if you do not save and still you use savings, you can. For that, you have to borrow. And when you borrow, you would have assets, but with a liability, which means you have to borrow them from others. My dear kids, did you understand? Great. Good. Very good. Very good. I actually chose this capital topic only today. So I told you, according to my experience as a teacher, students' first mistake is here in understanding and defining, interpreting capital, right? And I just want to avoid it with a massive effort so that my students will never forget how their icon sir taught capital to them. They would always have this impression in their mind. My icon sir told me and asked first my mind, and I told money, and he told, don't, you can't write money. And he told me to not to write money as an example for any of the resource and as an example for capital. Okay, good. Next one, and please make sure you fill the blanks. Okay, so you have to have savings. Without savings, no investments. Without investments, no capital. Simple as that. Next. Savings are the part of the current incomes of people which is not spent on current consumption. Of course, making savings is painful at the moment. Why? You are saving a currently spendable income or a part of the currently spendable income. You know, the easiest thing is to consume, spend. The next easiest thing is to earn. And the hardest thing is to save. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? It's very easy to spend, huh? And it's quite easy to earn as well. But the hardest thing is to save. Please understand, we need some discipline. We need some discipline. Capital is brought into an economy with that discipline. It's a choice we make. If we always choose to consume now, if we always prioritize the current consumption over future, we would never save. These were our countries, huh? Okay. Great. Okay, so but savings is the part of your current income which is not spent on your current consumption. Okay, now moving, huh? Did you complete or fill in the blanks, Puta? Did you? Okay, මට පුතාලව පේන්නේ නෑ. ඒක නිසයි මං ගොඩාක් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්නේ. පුතාලගේ මූණු පේනවා නම් මට, because then I know you're from your eye contact and your basic behavior. I can understand whether you have written the note. Although you can see me, I can't see you. Okay, you are invisible. Okay, good. Next. Now wait. These saved funds are attracted into the country's financial system. Most of this money is a very profound topic in economics. Although money is not a resource, although money can't be written as an example for any of the resources or factors of production, when you start talking about money, it becomes a kind of a beautiful topic. Money has been designed to circulate like blood. What if somewhere in your body, blood stops moving? What happened? What happened? You know what happens. That is it. So like blood, money has been invented, designed to circulate. So when I save, I want to pass what I've saved into the system. This is why we all have bank accounts. Right? Oh, this is what we want. Like we want to have another house, or a land somewhere, or vehicle, or you start your own business. These are the things we do with money. Or you invest in stock market, which means we know money can't be kept in a secret place in your house or underneath or in a very special room on a bulky basis. No. Even, even those who, what black money is? Do you know what black money is? Yeah, what is black money? Black money means money earned by people by doing illegal things. Lots of illegal things, those dirty things. I know you don't know. No, your brains are not dirty yet, right? Neither. You don't know what these bad people do, right? You're so innocent like a flower, right? Yeah, I know. But the society is not like Buddha. Society is a very different place, right? Lots of bad, dirty things. So they can't tell public what they do. So what they do, they get black money and they want to pump it into the financial system like white money. We call it money laundering. Yes, laundering, yes. Black money is turned into white money because money has to be pumped into the system to get the benefits of money. Right? So money has been designed to circulate. Okay, write this down. So when you introduce money into the country's financial system, it would be financial investment. So you lend, someone will borrow. So now you have lending borrowing relationship here. Very good. Next, fill in the blanks. At this point, financial capital is transformed into real capital, human capital, and other forms of capital. Look at your tati for an example, or ammi, or anybody who works in your family, right? Years from this tati, this is your tati. I know your tati is much more beautiful, handsome, and than this slim picture. Okay, in economics we call what your father has labor. But do you believe that in your father there is a capital? Do you believe? Do you believe there's a capital inside your father? No. Don't insult your father. Chi. තාත්ති ළඟ ඉන්නවා නම් ලැජ්ජ කරන්න එපා මේ මනුස්සයාට. බොයිස් ඔක්කොම කෙල්ලෝ ටික තමයි මට උත්තර දාන්නේ. කොල්ලෝ ඉන්නෝ කෙල්ලෝ වගේ. කොල්ලෝ දාපිය උත්තරේ. Understood? Girls, stop texting. Boys, start. ඉන්නවා මෙතන. මම නම් කියලා අහනවා දැන්. good. හැංගිලා වගේ ඉන්නවා මෙතන. කො අනිතය? Right. So there's a nice Sinhalese kaviya. You know this? උගත මනා ශිල්පයමයි ගත නොහෙනා කෝප වුණත් රජ මැතිදුම් ගත නොහෙනා. Listen, you know why your parents want you to be so educated? Sometimes more than you, your parents want you to be more educated, right or wrong? You don't think education is important at this age. At this age, I should enjoy my life. Don't you think like that sometimes? You can't understand why your mother thinks in that way. Yeah, because when you educate yourself, you get a special power in you. Your ability to think, your ability to solve problems, your ability to create, your ability to deal with people, your ability to manage, your ability to govern, your ability to persuade people, your ability to communicate, your ability to get things done. This special ability is called human capital. Human, which means it's a very special form of capital inbuilt in your system. So wherever you go, whatever you do, it is there. This is the greatest or the most important thing that you and I have. If you believe, Dulip sir, I can understand what you teach. I enjoy how you teach. It is because not my labor. My labor is basic physical and mental ability, but it is because my human ability. When you go to a doctor, the doctor diagnoses your symptoms and quickly judges and gives you a prescription. You just take two pills, that's it. So you say, you can't believe that doctor did it. Oh my God, he's so talented. Human capital. Look at the way Messi or Ronaldo plays football. Can you play like that, man? No, man. How much speed, the direction. Human capital. Can you play cricket like Virat Kohli? No. Human capital. Can you sing like Celine Dion? No. Human capital. Can you act like Amitabh Bachchan? No. Human capital. And why do you read the books of Rowling? J.K. Rowling? Human capital. Why movie producers pay millions of money to people like Shah Rukh Khan, Denzel Washington, A.R. Rahman? Human capital. Okay, good. Next, the producers of capital goods design, produce, and sell capital goods to other producers who need them to produce consumer goods. Mental labor is basically your ability to think, but mental labor does not involve your ability to create or solve problems. No, they require a special form of practice, special form of investment in yourself. So that ability, that special abilities of human beings, we put under human capital, which is a very special type of capital that we all possess. In fact, we all should possess. Right, great. Next one, total capital created in an economy in 1 year. Listen, we call this gross investment. From the 1st of January to 31st of December, the total amount of capital is called gross investment. And it has, you see, the total sum of both net investment and provision for capital depreciation. My dear kids, haven't you heard of this word? Capital depreciation and making provisions. I think you have heard. Machines, factories, buildings, transport equipment, these things have a kind of a feature in common, and we call that what? They get depreciated. As we use them, as they contribute to the production processes, they depreciate. So what do businesses do? They make provisions, which means, what is a provision? A part of their revenue they recognize as an expenditure, and they make it as a provision for the future. They know that the assets they are holding losing the values, so they want to make a provision, so at the end of the useful lifespan of the asset, you can have another asset in that place. Okay, good, very good. So the sum of both net investment and provision of capital depreciation is what we call gross investment. And please write down this equation there. Gross investment equals net investment plus provisions for capital depreciation. Provisions for capital depreciation. So I by now quickly brought in an idea here about capital depreciation. Net investment means now provision for capital depreciation means you had a capital and it depreciated and you will have it back. Net investment means you are having something that you didn't have before. You did not have 2 factories in the last year, but now you have 2 factories. Last year you had 1 factory only. Now you have 2 factories. So that second factory is a net investment. You had 1 machine and for the current year it got depreciated by 10%. So you made a provision out of your revenue, an amount equivalent to that 10% of the value of the machine, and you made as a provision. It's a provision for capital depreciation falling under this. And net investment is what? The new machine you acquired during this year. Did you understand, Puta? The difference between net investment and provision for capital depreciation? Did you understand? Good, Tishakya. Good. Finish writing? Finish writing? Next. Capital as an economic good. Capital as an economic good. So how to define this? Capital goods are used as an input or man-made factor of production in the process. Now wait, you see all these machines and all these establishments, these monitors, these belts, all these are called capital in this case. So what is their role? They have been made by human beings and they support production. They help producing a good here called car. That's it. Very simple. Very simple. Very simple. Right. Okay. Capital has an opportunity cost. Wait, go to the tute. Tute ganna. Right. Please, you need to write one thing here. Wait, you need to write this, but what I showed earlier here, right? Capital as a good. Taggale kaliya ganna mai pute. Yes, write this down. What you see at the top of the slide, write that down. Capital goods are used as an input or man-made factor of production. in the production of goods and services that people want to satisfy their needs and wants. Quickly write that down. Quickly. Don't waste time. I give you 1 minute only. Finish writing. Okay. Okay, now those who couldn't complete these parts, the business use their retained profits and reinvest them in the business as new capital stock. And to which we call net investments. Business allocates certain part of their profits as a provision for capital depreciation. Finance the wearing and tearing part of the existing capital stock. And the total sum of both net investment and provision for capital depreciation is what we call gross investment. You know the formula here, gross investment equals net investments plus provisions for capital depreciation. Provisions for capital depreciation. Harnedapute. Right. Finish. Putala, finished. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Now wait. Take a 1 minute break. No, 2 minute break. Take a 2 minute break. Okay. We'll start. Have you all come? All right. Opportunity cost, which means in choosing something we prefer to have, there is something else that we have to sacrifice. This is what this opportunity cost concept idea tells us. You can have what you want to have, but in that, you will not be able to have some other thing that you want to have. So you get a gain with a pain. You make a choice with a sacrifice. There is something you get and there is something that you have to give up. The same thing has to be done in producing capital. Capital is what? Capital is basically something we think of the future. We want more real assets and our abilities to grow in the future. So when you think of capital, your focus is on the future. You want to get the benefit of capital in the future. Okay. Although that is the prospected benefit, there is a price that you have to incur on that capital now. There is something you want to sacrifice now. What is it? You know it, don't you? I told you capital requires investment. Investment requires savings, and the making of savings require you to sacrifice current consumption. Didn't I tell it before? You didn't? Did we discuss it before? You have to sacrifice current consumption. That is the pain. That is the pain side of having capital. Are you ready to pay that price? Does a nation, does a government, is it ready? Are you ready? Are we ready to pay that price? Then only we can have capital in the future. So capital comes with an opportunity cost. We have to bear the cost now. We have to sacrifice our current consumption or current standard of living so that we get instead in the future greater standard of living and more consumption opportunities. Why? We will have capital in the future and our capital stock would be greater than what we have today. Okay, is the network bad today? I can see some students texted me and left the meeting saying that rain started. In your areas, rain started? Why not the Gulapat world? I can understand. Sorry, Puta, what should I do? In some areas, it's heavy rain. Students texted me now. I can understand. Have I put you in danger now? Like, is it video is talking? Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I can understand. I can see. Mine, of course, raining doesn't happen, but it's very gloomy. I will continue so that when I share the record lessons, you will be able to watch. Okay, right. Sorry, because it's online here. This is a kind of a very drawback, limitation, right? Okay. No. Nothing will distract me. Don't worry, right? Because when we sit here, I know that students leave, they come. Don't think it disturbs me, right? I know you are doing your very, very best in the same way, the best that is applied by me from my side, right? But don't think it provokes me. No. So I have patience to tolerate all these things. Don't worry, right? Yes, I understand. Last week's recording, there is something wrong. Let me tonight we'll do something. Okay, right. Isn't it working for everyone? Econ and BS. Can I have your responses like Econ 1, BS 1? It worked for me. Both Econ and BS. Econ was working. For some, it's working. How is that then? I tried doing something before the class. Then for me, it was working. I mean, working. Okay, I'll check. Right. Mama balana buta mama balana. Hari. Okay, api paadamata yam bute paadamata yang. Right. Okay. So now you know, although capital is a beautiful topic, although capital is a resource human beings make, there has to be a sacrifice. There has to be a pain side, and we call it opportunity cost of capital. That is, capital requires investment. Investment requires savings. Savings require us to make sacrifices of current consumption. So are we ready to sacrifice our current standard of living? Yes. That is the opportunity cost of producing capital. මගේ පුතාලා ටිකට මේක හොඳට තේරුණාද? මගේ අලුත් දරුවෝ ටික no, Sahanma, listen. Puta, wait, you respond to my first. Did you understand? That there is an opportunity cost of producing capital. Please don't think that I like no, I'm not angry with anyone, right? So even I do not respond to you sometimes. It is because my connection with this technical device called mobile phone is very remote, which means I do not keep besides me, right? It's not like you or many other people. I do not prefer that device much, right? I know you don't believe, but it's so irritating having the phone always besides me, and I only use it for these purposes, and most of the time I want to kind of get rid of it because I don't like to be disturbed by it, right? And we know, no, cryptocurrency is not black money. Cryptocurrency is not black money. No. Onila, I can give you my phone. Can you be my secretary then? Huh? Can you organize all the classes and can you handle all my communications? Onila madam, can you do it for me? I'll pay you a salary if you can do me that thing. Huh? Sorry. Can you do it then? Or can you find me someone? Okay. Listen. Normally, I'm a teacher who like teaching is an art, no, right? So we have lots of things. Recordings from the beginning, I will open in the end by the end of June or beginning of July. We already had it, Puta. That's why before some students joined last week, the week before last, I think we had in the Vesak week. I opened all these things. I will try opening them in once more. Okay. Api පාඩමට යමු පුතාලා. Right. Okay. The topic is this: capital has an opportunity cost. There is an opportunity cost of producing capital. Right? There's an opportunity cost of producing capital. And what is it? Don't forget the sacrifice of the current standard of living or current consumption is the opportunity cost of capital formation. පුතාලා හොඳට අහගන්න. It's opportunity cost of producing capital. What is it? It's a sacrifice that has to be made what? Current standard of living, or in other words, current consumption. So this is the opportunity cost of producing capital. Okay, good. Tute එක ගන්න පුතේ. Right, write down this idea, පුතා. Capital is a resource produced and acquired by human beings with the incurrence of an opportunity cost, and that is the sacrifice made in current consumption or current standard of living in making savings to be invested in order to have capital so that future standard of living can be improved. I know it's a long sentence and I deliberately gave it. Normally I don't give long sentences, right? But on and off it has to, they must be given. In the right la denno neva geva. Right. Look at this. Balaganna putte, balaganna. Capital is a resource produced and acquired by human beings with incurrence of an opportunity cost. And that is what? Sacrifice made in current consumption or standard of living. And why? Which includes opportunity cost and what that opportunity cost is and why that opportunity cost is there. That is, you have to make savings. Why? Savings need to be invested. Then only you can have capital. Then only you can have future standard of living. Mage පුතාලට තේරුණාද? If you want to divide it meaningfully into 2 sentences, do it. Do it, no problem. But this is in 1 sentence. What opportunity cost is? That there's an opportunity cost, what it is and why it is there. Taggala liyagana putte, don't waste time. Ikmanta. Finish writing, kids. Righto. So we can further. Therefore, when capital is produced by making savings, it can be interpreted as the following. Can I erase this, Puta? Can I scroll down? Finish writing. I give you 30 seconds more. I will give you 30 seconds more for those who like slow writers. Okay, Samadhi, I'll wait, darling. Righto. Can I? Is there anybody who's still writing? Anybody? I assume that there is nobody. Yeah. Good. Right. Okay. Therefore, when capital is produced by making savings, Puta, capital is produced by making savings, we can interpret. Write down. Sacrificing the current consumption. Sacrificing the current consumption. Or you can put it in another slightly different way. Sacrificing the current standard of living. Sacrificing the current standard of living. We all want high standard of living. But when sometimes we want the current standard of living to be high today, then if that is what we want, then we want to spend our income more and more today, which means then we do not save today, right? But if we want something different, if we want higher standard of living for the future, then we are ready to pay the price now. Then we are ready to sacrifice our current standard of living today. But I will read these two paragraphs. You follow me, Puta. The above conclusions can be made because once an economy has a capital stock, it has more resources or factors of production, and that will increase the production capacity of the economy. That leads into better standard of living when in the future. The governments of any country either directly do capital formation or encourage both domestic and foreign private sectors to contribute into the formation of capital. There was an era in the world in the past, people thought capital should be something provided by the government. No, government should provide some capital, but government's funds are not enough. Government's resources are not enough. So governments today all over the world encourage the domestic private sector as well as foreign private sectors to install, establish, and develop capital in the economies. Okay, right. Next. Mage putala me balanna. Determinants of capital stock in a nation. This is a very useful concept. What are the determinants of a capital stock of a nation? First, people's incomes, their consumption, and how much do they save definitely matter. Yes. You would say, sir, this is about money, right? Yes. But it's not only about money. Right? When people earn high incomes, when the prices of goods and services are quite lower, right? And they can save a considerable part of their income as savings. Second one, the attitudes of the general public to sacrifice the current consumption for future standard of living. Attitudes. So as a nation, where are we? You know, China is a country, they spread the habit of consumption to other countries. But as a country, do you know that China saves? Aputa, do you know that when our national savings rate is just slightly below 20%, in China it's nearly 50%? Do you know that? Our savings is below 20% of the GDP. In China, their savings rate is approximately 50%. Do you know that? See, then savings habits of people, businesses, and savings capacities of government, and financial market condition and investor confidence. I'm going to give you few more. Okay, Puta, they are the determinants of what, Pute? Determinants of capital. Api ikmanta liyagamu. Right, wait. This is the opportunity cost of producing capital. Don't write this. Don't write this. Make a liyagandepa. Production of capital requires investment. Investment requires savings. Savings require sacrifice current standard of living. And current standard of living sacrifice means you can have higher future standard of living in the future, right? So capital determinants. Now write down interest rate. From number 5 onwards, you can start writing this. Interest rate. Next, foreign investments. Foreign investments. Next, R&D. Do you know what R&D mean, Puta? R&D kiyane ke teruma dannawada putala? Research and development. Very good. R&D, research and development. So that's why now these vaccines are obtained through research and development. You get updated versions of mobile phones and softwares through research and development. And capital requires research and development activities. Next, governmental policies, government policies, and foreign exchange rate. All these are determinants of capital formation of an economy. Quickly write this down. Ikmanta liyamo mage putala. Ikmanta. Finish writing. Ivara nang ikmanta kiyanna. Then ivara ape dawase wede target එක mage ඉවරයි අද. Finish writing, kids. Interest rates, foreign investment, research and development activities, governmental policies, foreign exchange rate. Okay. Go to the tute. Yes. This is your homework. Read characteristics of capital. I have given some characteristics. This is your homework. So you can see it's creation of human beings. You need savings. You have to invest, right? And capital can, now a machine can be used as a substitute for labor and a complement for labor, which means machine can substitute labor, and you have to hire a a machine operator to get the best use of the machine. Likewise, and capital can be used for production activities again and again. Again and again. And capital gets depreciated. Some capital assets become outdated or obsolete, right? And income generated by capital is called interest. Right? Right. And the technological availability. Right. What are considered as capital in economics? Right. What you need to do, you can see now, this is something you have to do. You can see 7 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do as I say. Put number 1 here, physical or real fixed asset. You have to write that name here. Likewise, you can see in shaded boxes, I have given 7 topics. Those 7 topics in that order, you must write here. Did you understand? තේරුණාද කරන්න ඕන වැඩේ චූටි වැඩක් තියෙන්නේ පොඩි වැඩයි යන්නේ දැම්ම කරන්න හරිද so then I can explain those things in the next week. In fact I covered the target I wanted to cover today, right? You can see physical or real assets, that is number 1. Number 2, working or operating or circulating capital. Number 3, economic infrastructure capital. Number 4, social infrastructure capital. Number 5, human capital. Number 6, natural capital. Last one, social capital. Right? Listen up. In the next week, we will be winding up this section, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship. Okay? Stay safe. I covered the target I wanted to cover. Okay? Good night. Stay safe. God bless you, Buddha.